Okay, hello. How are you guys today? Hope everyone's doing well. As you can see in the background on my TV, we're getting ready for vacation. I'm getting in vacation mode, and we got 2 days, and we'll be leaving for a few days, a week, a little bit over a week. And I'm excited about that. But I'm here for a totally different reason today. I want to talk to you guys, male and female, about the changes that we go through sometimes and how things can happen, and how we need to keep God in the forefront of everything. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I say that. A friend of mine is in a off and on relationship with a guy. I'm afraid that it's off for good this time, and I'll tell you why. uh, Her and the guy were back together, trying to work things out, and I'm not gonna tell you what's going on with their business. Well, I'm not gonna tell you this part of their business, but they got into an argument. Let's just say that they got into an argument a couple of days ago, and things got out of hand to the point to where this man started shooting at my friend and her children. It just started shooting at them. And thank God, the reason I say that we need to keep God at the forefront and stay in prayer for the protection of God is because he shot at them multiple times. He didn't shoot in the air to scare them, but because he was so angry and out of control in his head, he shot at them. And the protection, the shield of protection that God had around them, those bullets barely missed one of them, and that's why I say you need to stay in prayer. Stay in prayer. Pray for your spouse, for your families, for your friends, for your enemies. Pray for everybody. Pray for yourself. Before you leave the house in the morning, when you get in the house in the evening, pray and thank God and ask him to keep you protected from all harm and evil all day, every day. Keep that prayer in your mind, please. And I was thinking about my friend, and it hurt to know that she's hurting like that, and what could have happened. I thank God it didn't happen, but it made me think and reflect back on a situation that I was in at one time with one of my marriages. It was a guy from here. I'm not going to give any names, but the guy that I was married to was from here. He moved to Minnesota with me. He was in the newspaper, and he was in the newspaper here for some things that he had did. He was in a really bad altercation with his first wife, to where he hurt her really bad. But knowing the guy the way I knew him, we actually had dated when I lived in Kansas City before I moved to Minnesota. When I was like 19 years old, we dated, and I knew him. We grew up together, We grew up together 1 block away from each other. So I knew who he was. I thought I knew who he was. I knew who his family was. Well, he, I guess, decided to go another path after he became a full adult, got married, and hurt his first wife really bad, and went to prison for it, and got in touch with saw my brother when he got out of prison, asked my brother about me, gave me his number, wanted me to call him. We started talking, and I'm like, well, what happened, and I'm thinking that he reached out to me, wanted to talk to me, just needed somebody to talk to, a friend or something. And we talked on the phone, maybe about 6 months back and forth, because I was living in Minnesota at that time and he was still here. And he told me that his wife at the time, and I believe the guy she was seeing, jumped him, and he hurt her in self-defense. Actually, the guy that was there at the time ran. Now, this is the story he told me. The guy that was there at the time ran, and he hurt her really bad, and they said it was in self-defense of whatever she was doing to him. I don't know. But that's the lie he came up with, and me thinking that I know this guy and his family, uh, took him at his word. It was self-defense. He had to defend himself. Oh my God, okay, well, let's get past that. Well, I ended up moving this guy to Minnesota. We got married. I came here, we got married, moved back to Minnesota. He moved back to Minnesota with me, and things were good for the first few months. It was good as far as I knew. Well, uh, we have a friend that also grew up here. Me and my sister have a friend that we're really close with, that we grew up with. She was also living in Minnesota at the time, and me and her decided to go out one night. Now, I didn't really go out to clubs or anything like that, and then I didn't really like leaving home, but he was encouraging. He was like, yeah, go out and have a good time. You work every day. I'm sure you want to get out for a minute, and then that's okay. I got the kids or whatever. Okay, I went out, enjoyed myself, didn't stay out too late, came home probably about 11:30, 12, and his whole mood has switched up. Just out of nowhere, just switched up. Well, that night was the longest night I've had in my entire life, because he decided that he wanted to kill me that night. He was going to kill me, and I sat up all night. This man made me strip down butt naked and sit there and talk to him, and told me he told me that he had AIDS and that he was dying, and he didn't care about dying because he wasn't going to live too long anyway. Well, what he did was he took me to the bathroom to show me he had AIDS. I'm like, you don't have AIDS. Why would you lie like that? He took me to the bathroom, showed me his scalp where he had cuts in his scalp. It wasn't cuts, it was psoriasis. The man had psoriasis. so I'm like, okay, well, so what I did was, what I had learned from past relationships and things that I had learned just in general, was to keep him calm. So what I did was I told him, okay, well, if that's what you have, we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna need somebody to take care of you. I'm not gonna leave you because of that. I'm sure I'm affected now with it too. So we're gonna live with this together. Okay, that calmed him down. He looked like, what? Was shocked because I said that. So throughout the night, he pulled out a knife on me. He called himself raping me. That didn't work. But he pulled out a knife and laid it beside me, and I'm like, okay, I understand that you're angry right now, but if you're gonna kill me, let me at least say goodbye to my kids. Don't let my kids see me like this. Let me say goodbye to my kids first. He agreed to that. So by that next morning, it was time to get the kids up for school. I didn't have a phone at the time. We used to use the neighbor's phone that lived downstairs from us in the apartment downstairs from us. So I'm like, anytime anything went on at the school, they would always call her house. So I'm like, okay, we can't let the kids miss school, because if they miss school, they're gonna call to see why they're not there, and she's gonna knock on the ceiling. And thank God, either he was too tired to just not focus on what I was saying. He believed me. Thank God he believed me. So I was like, let me take the kids to school, and I'll be back, and we can talk then. Okay, you better come back. So what he did was he held my youngest son hostage. He kept my youngest son and said if I didn't come back to that house, he was going to kill my son. So I left in a frantic, speeding. I ran straight to the police department. I'm like, please, just praying all the way, please, God, please protect my son, protect my son. So I took my kids to the police department. The police department, I was in the wrong area. So they sent me to the police department in the area that I live in, and took me to the fire department. The fire department there had the police to come and surround the house. I mean, they surrounded this whole apartment complex to get this guy. They had to have the apartment complex to let them into the apartment with the key. They went in. He wasn't there. But they found my son. He had locked my son in a closet. Thank God he didn't hurt him or anything. He just locked him in a closet and he ran. Well, the police officers called over to the fire department, let us know that they had my son and everything was okay. What they didn't tell me, when I went back to my apartment, this man had spread out a sheet on the floor. He had every intention on killing me when I came back. He had spread a sheet out on the floor with a box cutter, a hammer, and a knife. No, a pair of scissors, a hammer, and a knife. He had every intentions on killing me when I came back to the house. Prayer. My mama prayed for me. I prayed for my children. I prayed for my friends. God kept a shield protecting me and my children the same way he protected my friend and her children. Stay in prayer. That's all I know to tell you, is that we got through it. And, you know, I try not to think about it. I actually forgot about it. Well, not forgot about it. It was just in the back of my head. And someone was reminding me the other day of how strong I was and the things I went through and how I need to start talking about them to let people know you can get through it. You just got to stay in prayer. You know, ask God for forgiveness. Make better decisions. You know, don't go marry a man that's already hurt his first wife, first of all. Make better decisions, better choices. If you got to go to the FBI and have them to run a check on these nutcases, male and female, not just males, do that. But I can laugh about it now because we got through it. I thank God we got through it. And we're here to talk about it another day. I love you guys, and I'll see you when I get back from vacation. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Blessings.